this is an important session today. And so basically everything that we've been doing comes to a head again, this week. It's like, this is really the magic. And I call it magic because it's hard to sort of put your finger on this in terms of something that's measurable. And so what I actually mean by that is a lot of the actions and a lot of the stuff that we do when it comes to branding, when it comes to creating awareness about our brand, it's like, a lot of people get lost in the sauce because it's like, okay, I do something today, I post something today, and I don't really see an immediate effect. I don't see something happening right off the bat. Okay, and so what that basically means is a lot of people do stuff. Hey, Tana, great to see you. A lot of people do stuff and they get disheartened very, very quickly. Okay, because they don't see the immediate effect. But what's really flipping powerful about this is that when you understand what is actually happening, when you are giving value through the content that you produce and the stories that you're sharing and the value that you're giving in your writing, in your videos, in your content, you're generating this thing called goodwill. All right, and it's this magical thing that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't taste, but every now and then you'll get a clue that the goodwill is being generated. Okay, and the clues are when you jump on a sales call with someone and they go, holy crap, I've been watching your videos and wow, this has been impactful for me. Okay, and the funny thing is, and the annoying thing is that oftentimes we'll have people who are watching our content, they'll never even tell us that they're watching our content. They'll never even tell us that they've been impacted by the stuff we do, but they are there and they are watching. Okay, and so when the time is right and you put your offer out there, you give a call to action, and the time is right for them to get on a call, they will, and it will be an easy sales call because you'll have built so much trust and goodwill with that person through the content and the stuff that you're producing, the systems that you have. Okay, and so we're going to walk you through that. We're going to take you through what that actually looks like. And so we're also going to be talking about some lead generation strategies. All right, so this is where we talk about things like your funnels. All right, and a funnel is basically just the journey of people going from being completely unknown to becoming your client. Okay, and so you take people through, it's called a funnel because it looks like a funnel. It's like awareness, it's them getting to know you, and it's get them becoming a client. Okay, and so we're going to look at a few different strategies, and on this call you're going to choose what is your funnel strategy going to be. Okay, and your lead generation strategy. Now this is a big lesson. All right, and we're basically breaking it up into two parts. So part two will happen on Thursday when the Q&As happen. Okay, so part one today, part two Thursday, and just a bit of housekeeping is that we're doing a catch-up week next week. All right, so what that means is there won't be any live calls. It'll be an opportunity for you to catch up and implement the homework that we give you on Thursday, okay, which is going to be a content planning session, okay, because we've got a calendar for you. We want you to start putting that onto paper. And then that week we'll be able to answer questions in school, and then we'll come back and we'll basically finish off the process. But so it's today we go through goodwill creation and lead gen. Next week, Thursday, we go through the actual, what is the strategy? What am I creating? What video am I actually putting out and when? All right, so goodwill creation first, lead generation system. What are you building? Super specific how do we create content that is incredibly valuable for people, and how do we create videos and content that solve real world problems? All right, and so just to bring it back to what we did last week as a catch up, our thought leadership content, the structure of what we do is based around this framework. Okay, we tell a story, we deliver a point, we then teach a framework, and then we give people an action, which is the behavioral change. Now, this is, again, something that, whether you're using written word, if you're writing an email, if you're writing a post for your community, if you're anything that you're doing, I want you to think of it in terms of this, okay? Because if you are hitting these points, you're creating valuable content. That is literally how I structure all of my presentations, all of my YouTube videos, everything. It's even just how I think right now. Okay, and so it's really, really helped me in that whole side of things. Now, there are a lot of social media gurus out there that will teach you this. Okay. And I mean, I don't even know really what I'm looking at, but a lot of people will say, write 1,000 words a day, create short form content, write your newsletter, start a Substack, start a YouTube channel, create Instagram reels, then build a podcast, then write a book, then get sponsorships and partnerships, then hire a team of 10 people to do all of it for you. Okay, but this is crazy. It's insane. Okay, and it's not what we expect you to do at this stage in your journey. Okay, that might be something that happens down the line, but you don't even need to be doing that or aiming for that. Okay, all we need to do is focus on creating huge amounts of goodwill, that invisible magical thing that we can't really put our finger on, and actually converting people, and bringing them into our system so we can nurture them further. Okay, and so the goodwill creation process, and you might have heard me say this before, is basically the fuel that your engine runs on, your attention conversion engine runs on. Okay, and we call the attention conversion, we call it an engine because once that thing is up and running, once that system is built, that's an engine that is going to produce and print money for you. Okay, who wants a money printer? I do. All right, we all flipping do. All right, so let's build that. Okay, and that's what we're going to be building. And so once that is built, the fuel is goodwill, it's traffic, it's content, it's the stuff we post. And so when you have that, it gives so much purpose to the stuff that you're doing on social media, the content you produce, everything like that, because you understand that the best lever that you can possibly pull is posting and publishing content marketing. Okay, we focus heavily on content marketing because it is one form of marketing. Okay, you could use paid ads, you could hire a billboard. All right, you could do a flyering campaign, you could go knock on people's doors, whatever it is to get your message out there. But the reason we go all in on content marketing is because it's free, it's accessible. You can do it from wherever the hell you want in the world. Okay, I like being geographically free. I like being able to live wherever I want. Okay, and I like being able to produce content that is helpful for people and that creates what we call goodwill. And then knowing that the goodwill process is happening around me, can capitalize on that and turn that goodwill into sales. Okay, that's essentially the whole process. All right, and so what we're going to first look at is attention conversion. We're going to look at that first because we build the engine first and then we pour the fuel in the engine. It's important to do it that way around. All right, so lead generation through value-based funnels. Okay, and just remember, a sales funnel is a very simple process of taking someone from being unknown to becoming your client. All right, and so it all starts with traffic. Okay, and so traffic is basically the fuel that we pour into the system. I'm going to show you the system now as an overview, and this is an aspirational system for most of you. This is something that you will have after 1-2 years of operation, potentially. Okay, you can have it sooner, but again, we just want you to take it step by step, move at the speed of grace, but understand what is coming down the road. Okay, we spoke about this. I showed, the guys who are on the Q&A call last week, basically this system, but essentially, this is how it looks. And I just want you to detach your business from this for now and just think of this as like, okay, well, this is an engine that generates $1 million a year. Okay, just look at it like that. So the traffic comes in. All right, people then opt in for some form of free value. All right, so that might be an ebook, it might be a video series, it might be something that is free that people exchange or give you their email address in exchange for that free thing. Okay, and so people either go onto that landing page or whatever it is, that opt-in page, and they either say yes or no. They either give you the email address or they don't. Okay, if they do, great. We then offer them our first product. Okay, that first product is usually a low ticket offer, something under 100 USD, and that works really well for a lot of clients. Okay, so this is phase one. That's all we have to focus on doing, and that's really what I want you guys to get running, over the next few weeks. create a bit of free value that we can put onto an opt-in page that people can opt in, yes, and then we can offer them something. Okay, that's your first product. It might be your core offer, it might be your alpha launch, whatever it is. Once people are through that and they've got that first thing, they're either going to say no or they're going to say yes. Okay, if they say no, we're going to send them into a nurturing sequence where we're going to be emailing them, we're going to be delivering valuable content to them on a regular basis, where, you know, it's like, okay, cool, you know, I'm not ready to buy product one yet, but I'm in Luke's system and he's emailing me on a weekly basis. He's sending me cool videos every now and then. And then, you know, over time, through nurturing, that person then will be ready to buy that first product. Okay, so we're keeping them in our system. And that's really what we want. We want this to be automated. Now, if that person buys that first product, we also put them into an email nurturing sequence where we give them content, we deliver value to them until they're ready to buy our second product. Okay, and so the people who didn't even buy the first product, we can then show them and give them webinars and presentations and more value until they are ready to buy the second product, or until they're ready to buy the first product. And so once we offer them that second product, they can either say no or they can say yes. And if they say yes, we bring them into more emails and more content, and then we offer them our third product, which could be a higher ticket program. All right. And so this entire system is an engine that is automated, it's digital, and it's scalable. All right. Which means you could throw 10 people into here and you know exactly the percentage of output of how many clients you're going to get. You could throw 1 million people in here and you know that your conversion rates at each of these steps that are going to make you money. Okay. And so once the system is built, once it's up and running, your job as a marketer, as a business person, as a CEO is to simply focus on putting people into the system. Okay. And so it's basically, this is your input. This is the cause that creates the effect of money. All right. And so that is an aspirational system that I want you guys to get to. But first and foremost, we're focusing on phase one. Because again, this system takes long, okay, to develop. It takes a lot of testing on what products you're creating. It takes testing on what content works, email optimization. It's usually, you know, this is what people pay us monthly, a lot of money to basically set up and run for them. Okay. That's like an entire service on its own, but we are getting you to set up phase one. So you have something of value to give and you have something to sell. All right. And then you can focus on generating goodwill and putting traffic into this whole system. All right. So this is step one. Does that make sense so far? Are you guys following me? Cool. All right.
So basically, Luke, can I just ask a quick question?
Yep.
So basically, that's just a free offer, which is essentially putting them in a funnel to lead them to your first product.
Exactly.
So like it could be as simple as mobility program or YouTube video.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'll show you examples of this, you know, and what this actually looks like in real world. And so it'll hopefully click for you guys. But you know, what we need to do initially off the bat, you know, if you're not at a stage where you've got a proven product, if you're at a stage where you don't have an offer that is selling yet, okay, there are obviously even, you know, sort of other steps you can take to actually make this even easier. All right, because you know, there are things that you can do, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you 3 options. All right, and the first option is to basically say, all right, all I'm going to do is focus on traffic. I'm going to send people to a conversion event, which is a sales call. And so you don't even have to have an ebook. Your opt-in can literally be a sales call with you. It can be a free assessment. It can be a free strategy call. All right. And then you can then offer people that first product on the call. All right. So you don't have to have anything automated yet. It's just it's a case of actually testing what that first product is going to be. So the starter funnel. Okay. This is 3 options I'm going to give you now. The starter funnel that I want you to look at is creating content, free content on Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn. You can do all 3, or you can just do one. Okay. Which then leads people into a conversion event. Okay. And a conversion event is a thing that happens where you basically take someone from, being a prospect to becoming a client. In the most instances, that conversion event is a sales call or a strategy call or an assessment. Okay. So for us, what I do is I focus on, and so guys, guess what? I actually do this starter funnel. Right now, I'm implementing the starter funnel. It doesn't mean like you can't make a lot of money with a starter funnel. You can get to your first $10,000 a month using a starter funnel. Okay. The first $10,000 a month I ever made was using this strategy, which means I posted content for free. I then led people to a booking link, a Calendly booking link, where they could book into my calendar to have a free strategy call with me. And then I offered them my core offer. All right. And so we'll look at the different strategies. But the intermediate version of this is you run content, which goes to a lead magnet, which is your free opt-in value, your page, and then takes people to a conversion event, which is a sales call, or it is like a sales page, and then you show people the core offer. That's number 2, intermediate funnel. All right. So you're basically just adding in a lead magnet there, which makes it even easier for people to opt into your funnel because they don't even have to jump on the sales call to get that value from you. Okay. And so the reason we give a lead magnet away for free is because we're tapping into the law of reciprocity, which means when you give, people immediately feel obliged to return that favor to you. Okay. So they go through the ebook, they get value. They're like, holy crap, Connor's program is awesome. I really want to speak to him to take things further. Okay. The advanced funnel is you add a low ticket purchase. That's the automated low ticket program upfront. So people can download that lead magnet. They then get offered an automated program, could be flexibility, strength program. They purchase it for, let's say, $20. And then we offer them the conversion event where we take them into our core offer, which is monthly training, for example. All right. So there's those 3 options, and we're going to choose one of them as your strategy. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're basically building phase 1 of this. All right. And so we'll basically, talk about some of those things. We can open up to questions as well. But this is a value-based funnel. We call it a value-based funnel because we are giving so much flipping powerful free resources and free value in the emails we write, the videos we produce, the content we produce, where we are speaking to the heart and soul of our target audience. We're demonstrating our expertise, and we're giving them super specific how-to content that shows them that you are qualified to solve their biggest problems and shows them that you are the person who's going to come in and rock their world. All right. Because we want people to really love every stage of that funnel, because when they do get on a call with you, they're going to be like, holy crap, I feel like I owe you money now. All right. Which is powerful. All right. You want to give away so much free value that when people jump on a call with you, they feel like they owe you. Okay. When I first heard that from one of my mentors, it blew my mind. All right. And I actually experienced it when I started doing that. I started producing such, high value, super specific how-to content that when people booked in the sales call, they were like, Luke, I've been following you for, 6 months now, your emails, your YouTube videos, your Instagram videos. Holy crap, bro. Like, what do you have to offer? How can I buy from you? Tell me how. Okay, cool. Let's go. And, if I've given $10,000 worth of value for free to people, when I ask them for $1,000 in return, it just clicks in their mind. All right. So I just want you guys to bear that in mind. And so on the back end of all of this, this is what, an example of our client Strong, our agency client, where they offer this 4-week transformation guide for free. People download it. We'd send that email to them where we deliver the ebook. That person then goes into a waiting pattern for 2 days. We then send them another value email, which is, again, something that's super related to one of their problems. It's like, here's just more value, essentially. Okay. And so when I say value, what I'll break down exactly what that means in a second. Okay. That person waits for another 2 days. We send them another value email. Wait for another 2 days. We send them another value email. Waits for another 2 days. We send them another value email. All right. And so some of the best businesses out there, the biggest businesses out there, have email sequences that are literally automated until infinity. Okay, so if you opt into someone's funnel and you get the emails that go into your email, that shit's automated. That person ain't writing those emails in real time. Okay, you're in a system that looks like this. And so, I often will opt into people's funnels just to see what their marketing looks like and just to see what their emails look like. I like to reverse engineer that stuff. All right, so it's really interesting to me. Now, the problem is my email box is horrible. It looks terrible. I'm just flooded with marketing content or marketing emails. Obviously that's just me screwing up my whole email box. But the fact of the matter is, if you have an email list and you have people who are opening your emails and you've got a 20 to 30% open rate on those emails, you have a great business. Okay, you just have to be able to monetize it. Now, it is way more powerful to have people on your email list than it is to have followers on your Instagram account. The reason is, if you can continually prove to them that your email is worth opening, there is so much gold to be had there. Okay, so much gold. All right, so a couple of examples. All right, so this is Evan's landing page or opt-in page for his free ebook. So, very, very straightforward. Okay, this is my free 5-day elite hip mobility program. This is what you get. Here are the benefits. Click that, give me your email, and I'll send it straight to you. Okay, that's an example of that first step. The same for Liam, our other client. Okay, 4-week me rebuild guide. Basically go on there. You see the contrast that he's creating. He's got a picture of what was happening before. You opt in, name, email, we deliver the ebook to your email address. Okay, and so then we can follow up with value beyond that. Now, this is what it looks like on the back end in the system. This is the boss system where we can create different pages that take people through the system. Now, I don't want you to, freak out or whatever, but it's something that's relatively straightforward to implement. And the biggest question that you need to ask yourself is not what platform to use, but what platform are you most likely to implement? And remember, if you're starting out on a starter funnel, you don't even need to worry about this. Okay, but this is more for if you want to create an intermediate or advanced funnel. Okay, it needs to be on a platform. And so we have what we call BOSS. All right, this is the Brave operating system, which is our platform that we get people set up on, where we create these funnels. Okay, so we have these templates already built for you to basically jump in, add the copy, add your ebook, and the whole thing is already automated for you. Okay, so we've built the system already for you basically to tap into and get phase one basically up and running. Okay, and so any questions just on the system side of things now? And if you are doing a starter funnel, I'm going to show you some epic examples of that too. And I actually recommend for people like, Tanner Odney, having a starter funnel is probably going to be the best first step until we test your offer and we get your first 5 to 10 clients. Okay, then we can start to introduce the digital scalable systems. But for someone like Connor, who already is starting to do some of these things, I know you have some Notion stuff set up, like that is crying out for you to create an ebook and to actually get that automated properly, because there's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. Okay, does that make sense so far? Cool. All right, so what we're going to look at now, so that's the system, that's the strategy. How are we going to build that? What are the next steps we're going to take? And please understand that we're going to obviously help walk you through that. But now, how do we actually start driving traffic and generating that goodwill and that buzz so we can start sending people there? No matter what funnel we're doing, it's like, how do we create the goodwill around that? Okay, and so, the most amazing thing about content marketing is that even if you don't know them, they will feel like they know you. Okay, the most amazing thing about content marketing is even if they don't know you, oh, sorry, even if you don't know them, they will feel like they know you. And so that's the whole experience of, I've had people jump on a sales call with me and be like, Luke, I saw you went to this country. How was that, man? That was so cool. And then I actually saw that, you were talking about this, and the YouTube video you posted the other week was so epic. And thank you for that email. And, I'm just there like, holy crap. Like I did not even know you were following me. All right. But it makes your sales call and the whole relationship building process so flipping epic. I used to think it was weird, but then I really leaned into it and I loved it. And so I think about that when I post content. I think about the fact that people are actually there listening and they are engaged in what I'm saying. It's going to create those moments where they really feel like they know me. And so, some people ask, it's like, okay, why do people post pictures of their steak or their food? Or why do people post pictures of them going to the beach and watching a lovely sunset? Okay. The reason that actually works as marketing content is because people will be bought into your life. All right. When Gary Vee talks about documenting your life, he does because you're letting people into, what makes your life different. What are you actually doing? Are you a living example of the stuff that you're teaching? Okay. And so it's so powerful, the fact that we have this ability for free to basically use things like Instagram stories, all right, to basically show people that you are a normal person. Okay, you're not just a robot. All right, and on LinkedIn you can see that right now the best content on LinkedIn is the content where it's really sort of relaxed, it's conversational. You're actually treating and talking to people like they're your long lost friends. Okay. And the reason they do that is because of this whole effect. All right. And so we simply need to publish our content out into the world to as many people as possible that showcases samples of what we know and how we can help them. Okay. That is your content strategy, guys. Okay. Every man and their dog on social media is trying to show you what the magic bullet is, how to go viral, how to do this, how to do that. Okay. But when you understand that all you need to do is share to the world samples of what you know and how you can help them, that is how you generate goodwill. The beautiful, magical thing that people can't really put their finger on. All right. Because all people are doing when they're on social media is they're trying to, maybe they're trying to watch a few meme videos, they're trying to have a laugh here and there. But if they can see that someone is well positioned to help them break through some of their biggest problems, they're going to be like, okay, this is something worth following and getting behind. All right.
Can I ask something just about LinkedIn really quickly, Luke?
Please do.
I love LinkedIn and I think I'd like to be able to use it, in a far more efficient way. But if you are, on the one hand, kind of corporate, right? So you've got this corporate profile. The problem is with LinkedIn that you can't have multiple profiles.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to manage that if you're kind of trying to build something on the side that is probably very different from your kind of corporate profile, how the best way to manage that. And I've actually been wanting to write to LinkedIn and say, look, you've got to make it easier for people who are going through career transitions or major shifts, because there isn't that ability to do it. So it's probably a conversation not for this forum actually, but it's something I've been really thinking about, because I want to use LinkedIn, but I'm nervous that then people will go that I might be applying for bigger jobs at the same time as building this. Yeah. They'll go, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes. So it's actually a flipping awesome question, and it is perfect for this. So I've had this experience myself. So obviously I had a corporate profile. I was doing my agency, sort of brand video marketing, etc., going after big whale clients, and at the same time trying to transition to something where I was helping a different demographic. And so it was mentally a very difficult transition to make. Okay, but what I actually did and what I actually realized was that even the bigger businesses and the bigger corporate businesses, respected and actually enjoyed the fact that I was actually brave enough to do thought leadership content. Okay. And so to talk about the stuff that I was, qualified to talk about, and to share my expertise. But not only that, share that I'm a real person and that I have opinions about things. All right. Because the majority of stuff on LinkedIn, it is bland, it's boring, it's dull, it's actually mind-numbing crap. Okay. And so my question to you, Tanner, is this. Okay. So the job opportunities that you're going for, with your sort of the current or the old career, are there any crossovers between what you're doing right now? Or is it a completely new world and new and whole new separation? Or are there any crossovers?
I think it's completely different, to be really honest. So I'm wondering whether what I do is, I don't want to waste everyone's time actually on this, but I'm wondering whether that I set up a company that's still, so then I have a LinkedIn corporate page or something. I don't know. There might be 2 pages I need at the moment, but I still create content. I do think it's completely different. Now I'm just spouting rubbish now. I haven't really thought this through.
No, don't worry, no worry. So let me ask you this question. So the big clients or the big opportunities you're trying to attract, what are they?
Well, I mean, one of the target audiences actually that came up was corporate. There was a corporate target audience that ChatGPT spat out, which was really interesting. There's probably a lot of women on that page that probably are experiencing similar stuff. So it just might be how I introduce that into the page. I've got to think about that, and how it also sits in my bio, because the bio is obviously the be all and the be all with LinkedIn right now.
Yeah. So my initial thoughts, what was coming up for me right now, is that your LinkedIn profile, and like, people are going to follow, you, and people are going to buy and hire you, whether it's for the corporate jobs or for the new jobs. Okay. And so you can have, like, I've got a close friend of mine who absolutely crushes it on LinkedIn. And so he does high ticket stuff, like really high ticket bespoke work with big brands. And then he also helps people on an individual level. And so his approach to LinkedIn is one where it's like, he's sharing, thought leadership stuff that he's thinking about in the industry. He's talking about mindset related stuff. He's talking about corporate related stuff that are, focused around that audience. And so what we really need to look at your LinkedIn profile is okay, this is an extension of your personal and professional persona, exactly the same way Instagram is. And so we want to land on a LinkedIn tone of voice for you that you feel good, that is going to resonate with basically both parties. All right.
Yeah.
Because the LinkedIn content that's working right now is the raw, it's the authentic, it's the opinion pieces. Because if you're creating LinkedIn content that is, potentially, I don't know, it just feels like it doesn't have any soul behind it, your posts aren't going to be being seen by anyone anyway. Okay. And so we need to look at what is the overarching strategy and what do you want to get from LinkedIn. And again, we can actually chat after this call if you want, or just do some of that. But I think the solution is actually a lot easier than we think it is. And I wish I had come to that point a lot sooner anyway, because people are going to buy into you on any level, on any scale. And so we really want to dial in, okay, what are the things you're going to be talking about? What are your pillars, for example? Okay. And so, the whole exercise we did last week was based around pillars. And again, that's maybe something that we can visit and look at.
Right. Sorry to keep everyone's time. All right. Great. Yeah. Thanks. That's interesting.
No, all good. All good. So what we're going to just quickly look at now is the Star of Goodwill. Okay. And so the Star of Goodwill is basically our method and system for generating goodwill in a really efficient manner. Now, what we basically focus on, okay, and so we're going to be talking about, creating bespoke short form videos next Thursday, or this Thursday, sorry, in part 2 of this whole conversation. But we want to get to a stage where we have a system that easily allows us to, focus on something that we're really good at, and expand that and amplify that across multiple platforms at once. And so for me personally, I like creating one YouTube video a week, which goes in and teaches and helps people tackle one specific problem. Okay. I then take that YouTube video and go through the Descript process, which again, I'm going to be doing a demo about on Thursday. And we use AI to clip that up into multiple short form videos, clips, images, and text that we can then schedule and post across Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of these things without me having to, actually physically go out and do that. And then we also will take that YouTube video and we'll share it across email. We'll then pop it into any community groups that we're in. For example, I'm in Uncom. I know some of you guys know what Uncom is. That's where I'll share my YouTube videos in. I'll also share my YouTube videos into my free school community. I'll share it on my emails. All right. So I'm constantly providing that value and making that long form piece of content go far and wide. Now, you could, depending on your talent and your skill and what you like to lean into, this could be a piece of writing. It could be a blog post. It could be an article or thought form thing that you use, and then you then amplify that across other social media platforms. But we really, really like this because all we have to do, and I mean, I just spend 20 minutes, 10 minutes shooting on the problem, 10 minutes shooting on the solution. I then have a video, I post it, that gets amplified across the rest of my system. Okay. And so this is, again, something that we want you guys to get to. And this is what we're going to be helping you implement over the break week, where you'll actually be scheduling this content out, coming up with the ideas, and then actually going out and producing it. All right. But it gets to a stage where you've got everything lined up, and then all you have to do is drop in one long form piece of thought form or thought leadership content, and then that gets amplified across everywhere. All right. And so we focus on one long form video per week, teaching one specific thing, tackling one problem that our clients are facing. Okay. And so we make sure that we are following the super specific how-to method. Okay. And so this really is the crux of value, guys. When someone says someone's content is valuable, this is why they say that. And this is what they feel when they go through that. Okay. When I first created my first video course, and I first was producing content, all I used to speak about was the what and the why, and a little bit of how. Sometimes it wasn't even any how. Okay, it was just what, why, it was theory, it was this is important, da 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 da. Okay, and so my content was literally diluted massively. And it wasn't until I switched from a focus on theory to a focus on super specific how-to content did my content level up, okay, by 10. And did people actually start saying, whoa, Luke, that was really helpful to me. Okay, because people need the content. They need to know what steps to take to even show that you know what you're talking about. All right, and so, super specific how-to are things like showing examples, step-by-step processes, demonstrations, the actual what they need to do to overcome their specific problem. Okay, now, if anyone is worried, holy crap, Luke, I'm giving away my secret sauce for free here, you need to remember that people cannot get the transformation that they're looking for just by consuming content. It's impossible. Okay. People need to consume content first and then get your expertise, your feedback, your criticism before they actually can make any behavioral change in their life. And so when we understand that, we can give away our best stuff for free and then charge for the implementation and the organization of that transformation. Okay. So we give away our best stuff for free and we charge for the feedback, the hand-holding, the adjustments. Okay. And so, I really say that my best clients are the people who think that they can do it themselves. All right. I could literally say to anyone, go onto my YouTube channel, follow every single YouTube video, implement every single one of them, and you will get to a stage where you can make money online. But no one does it because it's not organized. I'm not taking them through a step-by-step process. All right. I'm just delivering content and showing them that I have the secret sauce that they need. I have the silver bullet that if they do pay me for that, then they're going to get the breakthrough. Okay. And so you freely can share your best stuff, knowing that people are just going to be like, whoa, this is value. All right. No, they're not trying to hold anything back yet. They're giving me the goods. All right. And so this is quite a freeing thing to understand. Now, when people say that person has great content, what they're actually saying is that person has great frameworks. Okay. And so this is what we looked at last week. And it's like the frameworks that you teach are the things that people can latch onto and go, holy crap, this is great. All right. And so, we just come back to the story point framework action, and this is a framework that we have. This is literally a framework is, when we start our posts, when we post on LinkedIn, when we create a YouTube video, it's like, what story are you going to tell? And how does that story give the person that's watching it proof of your expertise? What is the promise of the video? What can they expect to see in the video? All right. What is the point that you're trying to communicate? And then the framework is you giving a super specific how to actually do that. All right. Then the action is what action should people take off the back of that video? Now, in your workbooks, this is all laid out for you. So you don't actually have to do any guesswork. It's like the structures and the tables are there. And so when you do go out and write your posts, when you do go out and plan your videos, this is what I want you to think about when you're doing that. Okay. And so what I'm going to give you an example of now is the starter funnel. Okay. We're just going to jump back to the starter funnel. And this is something that I really want you guys to think about, is how and why we use Instagram. Okay. And so the Instagram profile is for us to generate new eyeballs, new traffic. Okay. So every time someone gets onto my Instagram page, they see that I've got, I see what he's got there, his value prop. And then I've got a call to action to go and watch a free training or a free YouTube video. Okay. And so I've got how I went from 0 to sold out in 30 days, free training. They click on this link and it sends them directly to my YouTube channel, where they've got a 15-minute long form valuable video where I'm teaching people a super specific how to do exactly this. All right. So you can see the title is how I went from 0 clients to sold out in 30 days. All right. So someone watches that. I start with a story. I deliver the point. I then deliver the framework, and then I give them an action. Okay. And so you can see in the description of this video, I have one of my links, and this is usually a link to book in a call with me to get onto that conversion event. All right. So that's basically what we're showing there. Now you can see I don't have any fancy website. I don't have any fancy landing page, opt-in page. This is the starter funnel that anyone can flip and do. And it is such a powerful method of taking people from Instagram, where they found me through some of my short form content. They go in here, they see this video, it blows their mind. They book in a call with me and they become my client. All right. And so that is the starter funnel in action. All right. And so, what I'm doing, and again, you could literally just do one long form YouTube video a month if you wanted to, and just have a new link there every month. All right. I might have my best performing video there, for 2 months if I wanted to. Okay. And so, if you're posting and doing a new YouTube video every week, you might pop that there as well. Okay. And so the cool thing about YouTube, guys, is that, some of the best YouTube content I've ever consumed are by people who have like 20 subscribers. Okay. But their content is so flippin' powerful that I remember, watching this guy's YouTube channel, and I was like, mate, how do I buy from you? Okay. What you just said to me was so flippin' powerful, and it helped me so much in solving my problem. I was like, okay, where do I go next? But he didn't have anything. Okay. He screwed up. He didn't have this step locked in. All right. And it's such a great way of funneling people into some value of what you're doing. Okay. And so what we're doing here is we're teaching everything you know for free, but doing it one idea at a time and all in a random order. All right. We're tackling the different problems that our clients have in a random order. And so they go, holy crap, where can I buy from you? All right. And so we're becoming a professional problem solver. All right. So what I want to do now is just take 2 minutes to decide and think about what is the funnel system that we're going to implement right now, okay, for you guys. And so, you know, over the next few weeks. And so just to refresh your brains real quick, we're doing basically phase 1 of this. Okay. And so you're either going to choose a starter funnel where you're going to focus on LinkedIn content. You're going to send people to a conversion event, which is to book in a strategy call with you. And then you're going to show them what your core offer is. Or you're going to create a lead magnet, which is a free PDF or a free ebook, which then goes to a conversion event, to your core offer. Or if you already have a low ticket service or something that you can sell, then we can go lead magnet to low ticket to conversion event to core offer. All right. Is everyone clear on that? Cool. All right. Let's take 2 minutes now. And
just quickly, Luke, in terms of the lead magnet, do you recommend going with that only if you have like a really good solid lead magnet? Like I have a mobility program I give to people, but it could be a lot better in terms of how it looks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that you already have something, so you have the content. It's just a case of putting that, you know, there's a load of Canva templates that you could pop that into an ebook and then put it on a very simple opt-in page that people can opt into. So I recommend the intermediate funnel for you. Okay.
Which is the lead magnet, low ticket.
No. Okay, wait. So you have a low ticket something to sell at the moment?
Well, yeah, I have like a 12-week program. I don't know how low ticket it is. I'm selling it for like 150 euros. So it's not that low ticket, but it's
So
like
let me ask you this. How many sales are you getting on that?
just 2. So very little.
Over how long?
2.5 months, probably.
So my answer to my question, my suggestion to you then, okay, because it's not that much harder to implement a advanced funnel than it is to do an intermediate funnel, because all we have to do is add a second step to your boss page. So let's do that. All right, let's roll with that for now. Okay.
The intermediate, sorry.
Advanced. Like let's
Okay.
automate that delivery of the program so you can actually start making sales automatically. All right. Because if you're getting 2 sales off it where you don't even have a structure set up now, like we could do that pretty straightforwardly. You know, what I started to realize working with guys like Evan and stuff is that, you know, when it comes to fitness specifically, you know, where you can unlock like a lot of great sales is through having something that's digital and automated and as like a low ticket program, because you've got to put yourself in the shoes of your potential client and understand that, you know, initially they're going to be more inclined to buy from you, you know, at some sort of entry level, you know, as opposed to going straight into like a $3,000 12-week program. All right. Whereas if you're doing some sort of business coaching, marketing coaching, and the actual return on investment is money, you can charge way higher for those type of things. Okay. But again, like let's roll with that for you now. But let's just take 2 minutes to brainstorm, guys, and then we'll open up to some questions. Let's rock and roll. 2 minutes now. Terrible music choices here. Testing out Zoom's music options here, so bear with me. Thank you. Okay, 30 seconds. All right. Cool. Who would like to share any thoughts on what funnel you'll be using?
I can go.
For sure, my man.
So as you suggested earlier, I think I'm gonna go for the easiest one, the first one. So yeah, have a video, have something, and then get people to book in a call with me.
Yeah. So just a quick story on this is like, I don't know if any of you guys know Maxime, but he basically launched his first program using this system. Okay, so he created a valuable, super specific how-to YouTube video. It was his first ever YouTube video on YouTube. He had like 10 subscribers. Okay, he posted the YouTube video, and then he promoted that YouTube video in his stories, and he had the link in his bio. Okay, so he said, guys, I've just posted this new YouTube video. It's live on my YouTube channel, and he used that as his lead magnet over his stories, and he just shared the link to that. So he was driving traffic from Instagram to YouTube for that free training, and then inside the description it was, here, book in your free call with me, book in your free consultation call. And so he got to a stage where he literally saw, I think it was like 50 odd bits of his program. He sold literally through that, like barely any subscribers. And so this is such a simple method, but it's awesome. Okay. And so it gives people another step in the process to go to. Okay. So, you know, I think for you, like having a YouTube video where it's like, you know, how I got out of back pain, or how you can get out of back pain, and sort of, you know, what was your one word solution again? Freedom.
Yeah, I've gone a bit back and forth with that one actually, but I've kind of landed on revive.
Cool.
Yeah. So I actually have an article on like some steps I took to get out of back pain. But I think I'm gonna make a video about that and use the same steps, and then have a video, because the article is a bit long and is about me. So I want to make it a little bit more about them, and then a video so it's easier for them to consume. And I like the idea of just having the basic booking link on a YouTube video for me.
Awesome. All right. So just a quick one on this. If you are going to do this, you can see here, this link, it says tap the link. Okay. And so we use a tool called tap the link. So this basically creates a deep link. Okay. Because if you don't have this, if someone clicks on that YouTube video in your bio, it'll open it up inside the app, and people will not be subscribed to, or they won't be logged into their YouTube channel. So it'll make it very difficult for them to subscribe to you. So every time we do a YouTube video, every time I share it on my stories, or every time I share it, in my bio, go here, create the link, sign up, it's free. And then basically it'll create like a tap the link for you. And then you can put that into your bio. Now, when you share that on stories as well, you use the tap the link, but like it's cool on stories, like you can change what it displays as, and I just say YouTube. All right, so it's a tap the link, but I just say YouTube, and so people can see it's a YouTube video. It's not some random spammy link that they go to. Okay.
Could you put that inside like your link tree, you know, where you can like store a couple of links, or do you recommend having that in your bio?
Yeah, you can have a couple of links. So you can definitely do that. Yeah, you could have that in your link tree. The thing with Linktree is that it might, I don't really know, but on Linktree it might actually send them directly to YouTube. So you just need to check that, okay? But you know, with like a Linktree like this, okay, you're actually just adding an extra step that people don't need to go onto, because you can have all three of those links here. You don't actually have to have Linktree. So look at Evans. You click here, and then 3 links pop up. And you can just change the title of these links to be whatever it says here. Okay, because it's a little bit annoying. They have to click this, then they have to go here, then they have to click this, where they could click this immediately if they go here.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. All right. So what I just want to show you guys real quick. So there's this article, and this is where we got the idea of the super specific how from, by a marketer called Wes Cow. And this is a really amazing website, but I highly recommend that you all read this. Okay. And so he talks about this concept of the super specific how. This is where we got this diagram from, but he gives examples of super specific how. Okay. So, you know, for example, like basically talking about the importance of this, but then the super specific how is showing examples of texts, Slack messages that you've sent. You know, so it really just helps the penny drop for people. Okay, because we need to remember that, you know, when we are producing content, when we are doing all of these things, we just want the penny to drop. We don't know when the penny drops for people. We don't know when it's going to happen. But the more examples and the more demonstrations and the more foolproof we can make things, the more chance there is that the penny's going to go, whoa, that was awesome. And the moment that happens for people is the moment the trust levels you have with them like quadruple. Okay. I would say that 80 to 90% of people on Instagram, LinkedIn, they are so obsessed with posting for approval that they forget that they're actually teaching people and they're actually giving value. Okay, so it's all about your customer. It's all about the examples you post. If you did a LinkedIn post where you had screenshots and you had examples and it's like, hey, this is an image that created or evoked emotion in me, it just makes it a million times better. All right, so that article is there in the chat for you guys to dive into. Is any thoughts or any questions coming up from today's content, guys?
Can I just talk about my funnel for a sec?
Do.
See what your thoughts are. So obviously I'd go with the beginner funnel, right?
Yep.
But I'm thinking, you know, in terms of how-to videos, you know, you talked about before and after, and I think that should be the initial one, and I think I should be video should be across all 3 at the same time, just linking to each other. Just because it seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be the easiest way of doing it. No, this should be YouTube and LinkedIn, because all 3 are very different markets in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there would be a link to conversion event, which would probably just be some kind of chat. I don't know, but I was thinking that they get sent a newsletter, no, a questionnaire of some kind. That then that's a great way of you know, getting some data and information on them before then they have a conversation. And then I still don't know what the core offer is, but the core offer probably is going to change depending on the answers to that questionnaire.
Correct.
Actually.
Correct. Absolutely. So, you know, the thing about offers, Tana, is that, you know, there's some people out there, and, you know, and I've been there. It's like, I will get on a call with someone who I've identified I can help in some area, whether it's marketing, it's advertising. That person might be in a completely different position in their life to the person I spoke to and sold something to previously.
Yeah.
And so when I'm going through the discovery process and I'm understanding what problems they're facing, I'm understanding where they want to go in their life, what their dream outcome is. When I get to the point on which I pitch my offer, I literally just use their words back to them. I say, okay, so what we can do is I will help you overcome the problem you've just explained to me, and I'll help you get to the dream outcome that you're trying to go to.
Like this, or this.
Exactly. And so that when you say that to someone, the offer is going to sound like it was a match made in heaven. Okay. And so, and that's the beauty of that starter funnel is, while you're getting this data, you're just creating custom bespoke offers for people based on where they are, and you're meeting them where they are.
Yep. That makes sense. Thank you.
And to just reiterate what you said as well, like, and I think this has only been the last 2 years, but previously LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it was all different. Like you couldn't repost stuff across different platforms. Now you can. Okay. Every single one of those platforms takes short form vertical videos. That didn't used to be the case. You used to have to post this way for Instagram. You used to have to post that way for LinkedIn. You have to put but now it's like, okay, if you got the content, spread it far and wide. Okay. Now, yes, I think start a funnel for you initially, but I think I personally think that after you've done like an alpha launch, and we can talk about what that means for you potentially on Thursday, but basically getting a case study program set up where we take people through some initial training with you just to get those testimonials and to get the experience, is to start developing like a free ebook or something along those lines that you can use as a lead magnet, because I think it is going to be valuable for you.
Okay.
But that's like phase 2, I think. Like, again, like let's just focus on testing this out and getting on calls with people and seeing and getting some research done.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. What I'm going to do as well, Tana, maybe you could send us a message just in terms of, like, I want to look into this LinkedIn thing. Like, I just want to see, because I think there's a way for you to do it that doesn't alienate anyone and actually just starts positioning you as like a real authority.
That would be great. I kind of feel that it's probably, I would love if any of you have time, I'd like to have my Instagram and my LinkedIn looked at. I don't really have YouTube, but I should probably start a new profile Instagram to be honest, and with LinkedIn, so they should really go together. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at this. If you can make the call on Thursday, great. If not, I can maybe spend the start of the Q&A basically just assessing your profiles, and if you can watch the recording, that'd be great. But yeah, obviously if you can make it, that'd be awesome. We can do that.
No, 100%.
All right, epic peeps. So keep an eye out for the challenge this week. Remember, it's part 2 is happening on Thursday. So we're going to be teeing up the actual content strategy, like what short form content are you posting? How are you doing it? How are you scheduling your posts in our content planner? All right. So that's what we're going to be discussing on Thursday. And just, remember that next week is a catch-up week, break week, where we'll basically be revisiting some things. We'll give you guys some tasks to crack on with. Okay. Awesome. All right. Sweet, guys. Chat soon. Rock and roll.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.